Welcome to Photokina 2018 TV here at Camera Rescue booth. We're with Guido, CEO of Hensel flashes or
light equipment. Yes, we
light
also
equipment.
Have continuous light sources.
Okay, so Hensel's here because he's a very big analog user and a friend of the community. So Guido, tell me a little bit about what you guys do, what you guys are going to be coming out with, and things like that.
Hensel produces equipment for commercial photographers since 1963, and of course mainly flash equipment but also continuous light sources. And the nice thing is that especially photographers who are working analog are really concentrating on taking pictures. They do not adjust the picture afterwards in Photoshop. They are no pixel pushers, so they need light, they need good light, they need light shaping tools, and sometimes if they shoot medium format or large format, they even need a lot of light, and that's something we can offer them. We have a wide assortment of light shaping tools. We have a huge assortment of different flashes for all needs. If you need low power, high power, everything you need. And something I think that's also very important for people who love analog photography and classic cameras, our products are not overfilled with gadgets. They are very straightforward, easy to use. And now, in about 2 weeks, we will introduce a new additional line of monolights which are oriented to non-professional users, entry-level flashes, but also very straightforward, very easy to use.
Okay, so you were mentioning large format. I'm a big large format shooter. I shoot 11 by 14 inch, like the one that Johannes has up there from Jovo. And it's true, you need a lot of power, and most people out there are making flashes for small normal apertures, but I need f45 apertures. So your highest line will cover those needs.
It's so fantastic. We have one gentleman in Austria. He's taking pictures on wet plates, and you can imagine they are not very sensible. And he's shooting with thousands of watt seconds. And there's a lady in Berlin. She has this gigantic camera where you go in and she shoots directly on black and white paper. And I think, if I'm not totally wrong, she's shooting with about 20,000 watt seconds, because I think the speed of the paper is around ISO 8 or maybe 10.
Like that.
It's amazing. So of course we have 6,000 watt seconds generators, which are perfect for true large format photography. Again, congratulations. The format we're shooting with is real large format.
Hard, yeah.
It's marvelous. I owned the Deerdorf way back, and I was so stupid I sold it. I'm now looking for another one. But anyhow, yes, we have lots of power. But again, another advantage is if you shoot large format or medium format, you're not taking hundreds of thousands of pictures and select afterwards. And if you use professional light sources like ours, you see what you're doing. We have this model light, you can control the light, and you do not need to look on a display to check the lighting.
There's no need for Polaroid or for the back looking. You can see what you're going to get without
what you're doing is you are photographing, you are painting with light, and you're not pushing pixels.
And so it takes more time. Of course, when you're shooting studio work with flashes on film, I find myself needing to know exactly what I'm going to get and not being surprised later on when you develop, because it takes its time. And back in the day you had Polaroid, which you can look, but nowadays there's nothing left.
I'm missing black and white Polaroid.
Yeah, we all miss all of that. So it's important to see what you're doing. As I do 8x10, depth of field is very important. Flash photography is very important. So it's good to know that Hensel has those tools. Tell me about your passion for film that's been relived, come back.
It came back because my first job in the photo industry was, interestingly, for the company who built this camera. So I was always a friend of medium and large format photography, and I always loved to shoot black and white. But because of the missing time, if you're a CEO, you have not so much time left to take care of your hobbies. I was shooting digital within the last couple of years, but because of a very basic reason, my girlfriend is a professional photographer and she's doing seminars for amateurs. And I had to help her to prepare a seminar for amateurs. And while I was doing this, I realized how complicated digital photography is. It's far too complicated, and many people who start with photography get lost in the technology of the cameras. Too many gadgets, too many obstructive functions. And I was realizing I was asking myself, who does need all those functions? Who does need these 10 or 15 frames per second? So my first reaction was I bought a Nikon FM2 because I want to go back to the roots, straightforward, and I enjoyed it a lot when I exposed my first film. It was like coming back, and I had this classic feeling again. I enjoyed taking photographs.
Yeah.
And then I remembered, oh, you still have an Ebony camera, why don't you use this camera? And then I realized how important shift and tilt is for me. I'm shooting architecture a lot, and it's a huge difference if you adjust the frames afterwards in Photoshop or if you do this at the exposure.
Do it in camera.
Exactly, in camera. That's important. So now I bought films at the company on the other side of your booth, at Photo Impacts, and I love shooting black and white. And I love to shoot.
So you like
analog.
architecture? I'm a big fan of architecture. I use the big camera for architecture.
Of course.
I bought a Hensel 3-meter tall tripod, and I use a ladder, and it's the beauty of it.
I wonder why so many commercial photographers are using DSLR or IVL cameras to shoot architecture, and they do not even have shift and tilt lenses. They do everything afterwards in post-production, and I think they really miss something.
No, it's something else. And when you can see it on the screen, it's amazing. You see it the other way around, helps you compose. So you got an Ebony before Ebony closed. If you don't know, they closed.
Yeah, it's sadly a pity, but I love this camera. It's the feel of the camera, the functions of the camera. It's very precise for a wooden camera, and frankly speaking, even the smell of the camera is fantastic.
Very good too.
The leather bellows and the ebony wood. It's a pity that they disappeared.
No, I had one too, and I also sadly sold it. I shouldn't have. But that's good to know that you have a passion for the slow medium, and that Hensel supports high flash power for those people that need f45.
We support everything, of course. We have a huge amount of customers shooting digital. If you are working commercial, you have to shoot digital these days. But the nice thing is that I realized that even some younger photographers who started digital, they now get interested in analog photography because for them it's something totally new. An older man like me, I had to start analog. For me it's like coming back, but for them it's a total new medium and they enjoy it. And I think that's a nice future for photography, because whenever you use analog cameras, you start thinking about your pictures before you take them or while you take them, and not afterwards. Well, and that's an advantage for photography.
No, it's what Camera Rescue is trying to do, is bring those cameras that older people that have left alone on the side, get them fixed and out in the market for the new generation.
That's very risky for me, because now I found your website. And a friend of analog cameras, there's always the risk that you buy more cameras than you need.
And there's so many selections.
Oh yes. Just some of those beautiful cameras are here.
It's street candy. It wants to get you excited. So Guido, thank you so much for coming over.
Me.
Thank you for shooting film. If you ever want to shoot anything else in Spain or architecture, I'll be more than welcome.
We stay
in
contact, I'm sure about that.
You can shoot a big camera if you feel like it. I hope you have a great Photokina, and I'll be expecting the release of your new products and see how it works.
And good luck to Camera Rescue. I think what you're doing is really good, and it's worth to rescue all these beautiful cameras.
They got to be in use. They can't be stored away.
Perfect. So,
thank you very much.
See you. Bye-bye.